All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. This is my assistant, Mochi. He really loves to get involved in Zoom a lot, as I was saying before, so. And he fights for me for the blanket. If you have a blanket, definitely have that nearby, but you don't have to. A block is always a good thing to have in case as well. So once you're here, as long as it's okay on your back, we'll go ahead and get started on our backs here. So once you're here, oh, what happens? If you come out to your backs, you can have your feet about mat width apart, knees towards each other if you want a little bit more support, feet hip width and parallel if you want, legs into more of a Shavasana if you want. So wherever you are, you can start to move your legs side to side. Okay, not too much. Side to side. Yeah, so even in Shavasana, you can kind of move your hips. It's a little bit more about getting comfortable through the hips. And then just close your eyes and take a deep inhale and a deep exhale all the way out. And then as you're ready, bring one hand onto heart center, one hand onto belly, and begin to connect there. So as you're here, feel this nice expansiveness here, even through the belly. So my mental image for this breath work lately has been, because I'm kind of craving spring, inhale, just open up, feel this flower just open up, and then each time you exhale, close it just a tiny bit. Inhale, just have this nice expansiveness. And then exhale, gently release. And also just begin to draw awareness of where you're holding that tension. Sometimes as we breathe this way, or as we breathe in general, we tend to focus a lot in your upper body. Try to think about breathing a little bit more through the belly. Okay, so now continuing with this deep breathing, start to add in with the arms. So this one opens up a little bit more through the back. So inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, slowly release your arms right back down, hands next to your hips. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, gently release here. So just a few more times. And just know that if your hands, the backs of your hands don't land overhead, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, you can always reach it up towards the ceiling and then release. And gradually, as you progress, the shoulders are going to start to kind of open up a little bit more. And this next time, inhale, as you lift your arms up, you can, a couple of options, you can clasp your hands and have your arms up towards the ceiling, or take hold of opposite elbows and just start to swing your arms side to side. So you're massaging right in between the shoulder blades. And this one is a particularly good one if you especially are doing a lot of computer work or driving a lot. It's mostly computer work, I'm guessing. And then adding on, if your knees are already bent, feel free to keep them there. And then just start to twist just slightly here. So knees to the right, arms to the left, and then vice versa. And then slowly as you come right back center, bring your arms out to the side and just continue to swing your knees side to side. Yeah, so this movement can be really, really big or pretty small. I generally like to start really big to kind of get a sense of where the tension is being held today. And then as you exhale, bring your knees over towards the right, hold them to the right, and then your left arm can lift up and down. You can make it into a big circle. You can simply slide your left arm up and down on the ground. And then slowly as you come right back center, switch your knees over towards the left and then pause right there. Again, the right arm can lift up and down. You can move it up and down on the ground, kind of more of a snow angel-like movement. And then slowly as you come right back center, now a little bit more into the shoulders here. So coming onto your right side, and I would say probably place a pillow or a blanket right underneath your head. So something to just give you just a tiny bit more support. And you'll pull your knees in towards your chest and bring your top hand behind your head. Sorry, he gets very excited with this pose. Your right elbow pulls down, inhale, lift up and over, and then exhale down, inhale up and over. So again, this movement, pretty small, and then gradually make it bigger. So I'm going to give you a couple of more options. So you can start to circle your top arm up and over. You can do more of a sweeping motion here. Yeah, just be careful that as you sweep back, you're not pushing your arms all the way straight. Have a slight bend in them. And now as you're starting to open up into the shoulders, the top knee does the same thing. So inhale, you're just going to kind of open up a little. That top knee doesn't have to open up too wide. And then exhale, close. Inhale, lift up and over. Exhale, close. So warming up into the left side of your whole body. Okay, so just a few more. And then as you exhale, you're going to come all the way onto your backs and come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of your feet together, knees apart. Yeah, one side's definitely going to feel a little looser than the other. And this next time, inhale, you're going to reach your arms out and up all the way overhead. Bring your palms together. Trace the midline as your knees come together. Yeah. So inhale, reach your arms and knees out. And then exhale, bring your palms together, knees together. It's more of a circular motion. I just check to make sure that I'm Being clear. Yep. Yeah. Okay. And then slowly here, bring your knees together and bring your knees towards your chest. So hands come right up under your knees and just move a little bit side to side here. Start to circle your knees in one direction, releasing through the low back, through your sacrum. And then reverse. Okay, so we'll do this on side 2. So you'll come all the way onto your left side. I'll demonstrate on the same side so you can see me. So top hand can come behind your head. This first one, you can lift your elbow up and back. Exhale, close. Inhale, lift up and back. And then exhale, close. And then from here, add on with the top arm. So whatever variation that feels the best to you right now. And again, this variation might be significantly different than side 1. So it kind of depends on what the side needs. And I'll leave it up to you of when you want to bring your top hip into action here. So top arm, top knee draws over. So you can have your feet still together and then exhale, close. So think of it as opening and closing action. So make sure you're adding on this breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And as you're ready, slowly come all the way onto your backs, soles of your feet together, knees apart. Yeah, into this cobbler's pose. And then bring your arms, circle your arms out and up. Bring your palms together. And as they trace, then your knees come together. So you're kind of closing everything up. Open your knees, open your arms out towards the side. Palms come together. Trace the midline as your knees come towards each other. And then just continue here. So it's a little bit of inner thigh strength. And this next time, as your knees come towards each other, feel free to hug your knees in towards your chest. And this time, inhale, reach your arms and your feet towards the ceiling. And then exhale, rebend, pull them right back in. Inhale, reach them right back up. Exhale, rebend. And continue here. And this next time, as your arms and feet lift up towards the ceiling, it doesn't have to be all the way straight. Start to circle your ankles, circle your feet here. Okay, set both feet down, hip width and parallel. Bring your right ankle right above your left knee. Flex your right foot, and then just move a little bit side to side. So hopefully there's a little bit more mobility going on now. And then just really briefly bring your right foot towards the left into this little bit of a twist and pause here. Yeah, the twist we did earlier, a little bit more in your upper body, but this one's a little bit more through the lower body. Open up right into the right outer seat. Okay, so this next one's a little different. You're going to keep your legs exactly where it is. Yeah, to more figure four. Bring your right knee towards the right. It doesn't necessarily have to touch the ground. You can have a block or a blanket or a pillow and just cradle your right knee on it. And again, opening up a little bit more into the left side, sometimes into a little bit of the left hip flexor. And then slowly as you come right back center, set both feet down, left ankle right above your right knee, and just move your hips side to side here. And then slowly set your left foot onto the floor or towards the floor. And then just pause right here. Kind of more of a traditional twist. Good. And then slowly as you exhale, bring your left knee towards the left. And again, feel free to have a prop to cradle that side. Nice. Okay. And when you're ready, slowly come right back center. Hug knees towards the chest, bring your knees apart, and just move a little bit side to side. You can come into happy baby if you're feeling ready for that, but we will also come into this pose again towards the end of class. It's kind of nice to compare how a pose feels at the beginning as opposed to the end. And then once you're ready, come onto hands and knees. So either coming out to one side or rolling right back up. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips, fingertips are spread really wide. Inhale, chin up, chest up, widen across your collarbones. As you exhale, open up right in between the shoulder blades, and then just continue here. So moving from the most mobile part of your spine. Great. Yep. And then adding on from here, as you exhale, slide your hips back, and then inhale, chin up, chest up. Exhale, slide your hips back, and then inhale, chin up, chest up. Good, yeah. So as you slide your hips back, again, hips don't have to touch the heels. It's just to reopen through the low back. And then slowly, you can even add on little circles, hips towards your heels, shift to one side and then the other. And then reverse this motion. Okay, and then slowly come all the way onto your bellies. Yeah, so tops of your feet down onto the floor. Come into Sphinx Pose. My son's least favorite pose, right? So elbows right underneath your shoulders and press the ground away from you. Draw the chest in between the bicep. Drop shoulders down. Take a deep inhale. And a deep exhale. Maybe look over your right shoulder. Gently just stretch out into the left side of your neck. And then slowly come right back center, look over your left shoulder, and the same thing, gently open up into your right side. And then slowly you're going to come right back center, stack your hands directly on top of one another, curl your heels to your seat, and just move your hips side to side, releasing through low back. Then gently as you bring your legs straight back, hands right underneath the shoulders, lift all the way up, and just slide your hips all the way back into Child's Pose, Balasana. So one knee version is a great one here, forehead onto the ground or onto the block, moving the forehead a little bit more side to side. Yeah. So with each exhale, feel your low back just release down a little bit more. Good. And let's walk your hands over towards the right and pause there, reaching out. Walk your hands over towards the left and then reach out. And then slowly, as you come right back center, lift back up onto hands and knees, reach your right leg straight back, dig the ball of your foot down onto the ground. You'll just push back, come forward, push back, come forward. Okay, so this is where you're going to open up into the sole of your foot, your calves. Slowly come right back up and bring your right leg straight out to the side. So your right big toe is in line with your left knee. And just shift your hips side to side a little, okay? As you come back center, left hand underneath your face, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and pause here. So how far you want to bring your top arm, completely up to you and your front of your body. But just another way to kind of open here, as well as to add on that twist. And as you exhale, bring your hands down. I'm going to open up into the inner thighs a little bit more. So walk your fingertips forward, flex your right foot upwards, and shift your hips back just slightly. Honestly, 2 inches is going to be enough. Those of you who really want to feel a little bit more, feel free to experiment, maybe drawing back a little bit more. Option to also come down onto your forearms and breathe right here. Okay. And slowly plant your hands right back down, lift up, set both knees side by side. Same thing with the left side. You're going to extend your left leg, dig the ball of your foot down, push back, come forward, push back, come forward. We all kind of feel something here because of tension through the calf muscles, through the sole of your foot. And slowly bring the left leg straight out to the side, left big toe in line with the right, and you just shift your hips side to side. And occasionally you'll feel kind of a little bit of creakiness. That's perfectly all right. And as you come right back center, right hand underneath your face, left arm reaches up, and then just pause there. Yeah. Don't have to go too far. Yeah, coming onto your forearm, bottom forearm, great option as well. Yeah. And then as you exhale, slowly release your right back down, flex your left foot towards the ceiling, walk fingertips forward just a tiny bit, and then slide your hips back. So we're looking for a little bit more of a lengthened spine here. But the main starting to show, inner thigh, just starting to kind of reopen there. But proceed with a lot of caution. And slow inhalation as you come up, set both knees side by side. And coming into extended puppy pose before coming into down dog here. So hips stay right above your knees, walk your fingertips forward, forehead or chin and chest onto the floor. Okay, whole spine lengthens out. You can bring your chin down, you can bring your forehead down. You can stack your hands directly on top of one another, forehead on top of the stacked hands if this is not happy on your shoulders. And then slowly as you lift wrists underneath the shoulders, Knees underneath your hips, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, and start to treat out your heels, shake out your head. Good. Nice. So whatever down dog feels the best to you. I do highly encourage to bend your knees a lot in down dog and have this nice extension through the whole spine. Because one of the things here is you don't want to hunch into the down dog, right? You want to have this nice long down dog. Good. And then slowly, whenever you are ready, bend your knees and walk your feet towards your hands and come into a standing forward fold. So take hold of opposite elbows and swing a little bit side to side. You're looking towards your knees. Right back. And then from here, hands above or below the knees. Inhale halfway up, lengthen, and then exhale, forward fold. Long inhale, sweeps your arms out and up. And then from here, take hold of your right wrist, and as you exhale, side bend towards the left. So you're really pushing down a little bit more actively into your right foot. Inhale, you're gonna come right back up. Take hold of your left wrist, side bend slightly towards the right. Pause right there. Good, push down slightly into your left foot. And then as you exhale, release your hands. Bring your hands onto your sacrum, elbows in, lift your chest up, and exhale, gently release your head back. So keep your knees nice and soft. And then long inhale lifts you right back up. Inhale, roll shoulders up. Exhale, roll back. So I'm going to start a little bit more into the feet, and then I'm going to go into the hips here. So with the feet hip width and parallel, lift all 10 toes off the floor. Okay, and your toes will not cooperate. Just a little reminder. You're going to slowly release each toe, starting with your pinky toe, down onto the floor. And again, as I said, they will not cooperate. They'll go in all different sorts of orders. Yeah, so from here, you're going to lift all 10 toes, and then starting with your big toe now, release each one down towards the floor. So keep your knees really soft, yeah, and then just continue to go back and forth here. So what you're doing is it's a little bit more of the point of stretching out into the soles of your feet, because we often forget about the feet, because the hamstrings, the quads, the hips, they always are calling on our attention just a little bit more or a lot more. Good. And then slowly this next time, after you release your toes down and your pinky toes come down, your toes are really spread. So maybe lift your right heel up, release it down, left heel up, release it down, and then just begin to stretch ankles too. Okay. And then set both feet down, working a little bit higher. Hands on your hips to kind of keep them level here. This one's interesting. You're going to lift your right leg up and imagine that you're stepping over a block and then set it right back down. And then left leg, same thing. You're going to lift it up, step it over, and then set it right back down. So it's not really too high. Yeah, what you're doing is you're kind of getting a little bit more mobile inside your hips, the hip socket. Okay. If you're a runner, this one's a really good one to do too, to kind of just loosen up a little. And then doing the opposite. Yeah, so your right leg goes out a little, up and then down, and then your left leg goes out a little, up and down. Nice. If you get the order a little mixed up, that's totally fine too. Main thing is just keep on moving. Good. Okay, so one more to the right, and then one more to the left. And set both feet down, and you're going to step your feet out a little bit wider here. Okay, so again, working into inner thighs. This time it should be a little bit more open here. So all 10 toes facing forward, hands behind you. You're going to hinge your upper body forward slightly as you bend your right knee. Left leg extends. Inhale, you're going to come right back center. Bend your left knee, hinge your upper body forward, and then lift right back up. So continue here. Just be careful that you're not really sliding your hips out. Your hips stay fairly neutral. So you're isolating a little bit more into the thighs and letting the thighs work for you. And just be aware that your knees are behind your toes as usual. Okay, one more time, each direction here. Yeah, and then we'll end with bending the left knee. Okay, now slowly as you come right back up, heels in, toes out, hands right above your knees, sink down, and again, just move a little bit side to side. Now getting into a little bit more in shoulders, right shoulder towards your inner left knee, keep your knees drawn away from each other, and then switch. And then continue to switch here. And then slowly here, those of you whose knees aren't exactly happy today, you can stay right here, yeah, and gotta squat. Otherwise, you can draw your feet in a little bit and then come into your full squat, moving a little bit side to side. Good. So this one's a really nice one through the low back. So think of heavy tailbone at the same time. Have a sense of extension, because we have a tendency to kind of want to sink down into it, but lift away from your hips. Good. Yeah, and then you bring your hands down onto the ground and lift your hips up. Feet are going to be hip width and parallel, more or less, hands onto your hips. Long inhale lifts you right back up. Inhale, roll shoulders up. Exhale, roll back. Now let's come into warrior two, and hopefully it is a happier warrior than springing into it, right? So you're going to ground down into your right foot, step back with your left, and then open up here. So shoulders and hips slightly open towards the long edge of your mat. Bend through the front knee. Your front knee stays directly above your ankle. Reach your arms out to the side, and inhale, reach your arms up as you straighten out your front leg. Exhale, rebend, arms out. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, rebend. One more in, and then exhale. Now you're going to pause right here. So a couple of options. You can A, interlace your hands. B, you can take hold of a kitchen towel, a strap, reach it straight back, and you're going to hinge your upper body forward more at a diagonal. So think of your right shoulder kind of pointing towards your inner right knee. Yeah. So your left leg is going to stay quite anchored down to the floor. Lengthen, take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Slowly, you're going to come right back up, reach your arms out, and then reverse your warrior. Back hand comes above or below the knee, top arm reaches up. Okay, so from here, we're going to go a little bit deeper. So if you have a block, I would say have the block handy with you. You're going to bring your hands down towards the instep of your front foot. I'm going to demonstrate with the block. And walk your hands with your block or under your block and reach it diagonally away from your left leg. So you're forming a nice diagonal. Yep, you got it, Meredith, that's it. Yeah, nice. And just continue to breathe here. So it's like a half squat. And then just as slowly, you'll bring the block in, hands onto your hips, long inhale lifts you up, reverse your warrior really briefly to reopen. And then as you come right back up, lift your right toes all the way up, and then turn all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat, yeah? So now you're in wide-legged, and you'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. So hands onto the ground, bend one knee and then the other, and just move a little bit side to side. And then right hand underneath your face, left hand on your hip, lengthen through spine, and then gently twist here. And as you exhale, gently come right back center and switch. And then slowly as you come right back center, hands on your hips, long inhale lifts you right back up. Switching to the other direction. So lift your left toes up, starting with your left hip, slowly turn towards the other side of your mat, or you can just switch your legs. Yeah, bend through the front knee, reach your arms all the way out. Inhale, reach your arms up, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale. So just make sure that this action is coming more from the back muscles, less from the tops of your shoulders, because that's where it always wants to activate. So just kind of release that. And then as you exhale, rebend through the front knee. You're going to interlace your hands, draw the hands back or grab onto a strap and pull back and hinge upper body forward more at a diagonal. So it's kind of a practice before we go into the deeper variation. And keep your feet grounded down to the floor, especially that back leg. And then gently release, reverse your warrior, top arm reaches up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down towards the instep of your front foot, with or without a block, or even a nice thick book, yeah, would also work. Walk your fingertips forward and lengthen out. You're going to kind of feel this on various different areas around the hips. And then slowly, as you bring the block right back, lift all the way right back up, reverse your warrior here. And then slowly, as you come right back up, lift your left toes up, turn towards the long edge of your mat. And now coming into a bit more of Skandasana here. So as you exhale, hinge forward, hands onto the block. You can turn your right toes towards the right side, bend through the front knee, and then pause right here. So here, this is a variation that's a little bit closer to ones that we've been kind of playing with. If you want, you can flex your left foot up towards the ceiling. Those of you who are familiar, you can bring your palms together. That's deep. So I would stay right here. And then slowly you're going to come right back up and then switch your toes. So you're going to bring your left toes out. Still stay with your upper body kind of still facing forward, yeah. And then from here, maybe for some of you, this is it. Others, you can flex your foot and kind of feel it out here. Bring your palms together because we're kind of combining everything that we've been playing with. And then just as gently, lift up. And then turn all 10 toes forward, hands onto your hips. Long inhale lifts you up. Heel toe your feet in or hop them all the way together. And once again, just kind of shake out your legs here. Nice. Okay, and then from here, keeping your knees really nice and soft, let's go into a little balance pose. So counteracting all that with inner thigh work with your outer thigh. So soften up your knees. Let's come into Gardasana. So right leg over your left. So keep your left knee bent. Reach your arms out. And let's bring your right arm underneath the left. So either give yourselves a big hug or come into full Gardasana. If you have the block, option to have the block right next to your left foot and your right toes are resting on the block. Those of you wanting to go forward, go ahead. It's going to stretch out right in between the shoulder blades a little bit more. And then just as gently, come right back up, unravel, set both feet right back down. Okay, and then switch over to the other side. So if you were using the block, definitely keep using that. Left leg over, soften up your right knee. Toes onto the block or wrapped around. So keep your hips fairly level. Reach your arms out, left arm under, fingertips up, elbows away from your chest, and then hinge your upper body forward. And then slowly, you're going to come right back up, unravel, and set both feet right back down. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, roll them back. Flip your palms forward, okay? a little bit of what I like to call the pancake. So right palm flips back. So just make sure that your right palm doesn't flip all the way where your shoulder kind of pulls forward. Just a nice little flip. And then look over towards the left shoulder. You're gonna come right back center, palm flip forward. Left palm flips back as you look over towards the right shoulder. Come right back center, and then just continue here. So have a sense of ease of doing this. So one more over to the right. And then one more to the left. Okay, and then slowly as you come right back center, reach your arms out and up. And then as you exhale, knees are soft, hinge forward, hands above or below the knees. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold, plant your hands. Coming to a down dog here. Those of you who want to flow, feel free to do so. Coming forward, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga up dog. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, lift. Low, medium, or high cobra. Exhale, release down, and then lift up. Okay. Set your knees down onto the ground. Come back into tabletop. Right arm 3 times. You're going to sweep your right arm all the way up. And then 3 times as you exhale, bring your right arm behind your left. And then inhale, reach your right arm all the way up. And then exhale, behind your left. Last one in. And then exhale. Set your wrist, shoulder, and side of the head down onto the ground. And you can keep your left palm next to your face or towards the top of the mat, or come into a half bind with your left thumb down. So you've got tons of variation here. And then slide your left palm next to your face if it has migrated away. Reach your right arm skyward and bring your hands right back down. So left arm, same thing. Inhale, you're gonna reach. Exhale, sweep it behind the right. Inhale, reach right back up. Exhale, sweep. One more in. And then exhale, set your wrist, shoulder, and side of the head down onto the ground. You can keep your palm next to your face or towards the top of the mat, and then pause there. And then slide your right palm next to your face, reach your left arm all the way up towards the ceiling, and exhale, set both hands right back down. Yeah. Now come back into one of your final down dogs and just turn out heels. But I'm going to do into a pigeon, but I'm going to give you about 3 options. And for if you already know what option to take with pigeon, feel free to take that. So this first traditional one, you'll bring your right knee in towards your chest, set your outer shin onto the floor, and I would keep your back toes tucked under. Main thing here is you want to keep your hips level. So if your right hip has elevated, just grab hold of a blanket, a rolled up blanket, and place it right underneath your hip. Tuck back toes, lift back knee, gently reset your back knee down. As long as all 5 toes are facing straight back behind you, your back knee is pretty protected, or you can tuck it under. Lengthen through the spine, walk your fingertips forward, and then hinge all the way forward, yeah? Stay long through the spine. Another option here is think about squeezing your knees towards each other on the inhale. Exhale, release, yeah? So then that little pulse of squeezing in, exhale, release, it's going to help loosen up into the hip flexors a lot more. Okay, so from here, some of you probably already know, but I just want to throw it out there. Two options, excuse me, is bringing your legs into a figure four, bringing them in and just moving side to side. Similar mechanics here. Top leg can lift up. Option three is what I like to call the pinwheel legs. Right leg into 90 degrees in front of you. And instead of having the left leg straight, bent, left knee in line with the hip, lengthen through spine, and then hinge forward, you will most likely need to place a blanket right underneath your left hip for this, and then hinge forward. There's definitely something for everyone here. And then slowly, as you come right back up, release the prop from underneath your hip, moving on to the other side. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips, and then step it back, moving side to side. So this will be your last down dog. Lift your left knee up, pull your left knee in, and bring the left outer shin on to the floor. You can tuck right toes under, lift your right knee, set it down. Figure out where you need, what you need with the hips, what height you need with the blanket. And when you're ready, stay long. Yeah, so walk your hands forward and then come into more of a Sphinx pose rather than straight down. So you have this nice extension. Now, if this side happens to be injured or you have any difficulties on this side, you can opt for one of the different options too. Doesn't have to be exactly the same thing. So once again, in regular pigeon, squeeze your knees towards each other. Exhale, release. Inhale, kind of squeeze them towards each other. It's a really subtle movement. Exhale, release. All right. And then slowly set your blanket aside, tuck back toes with back knee, and you'll just step back into a down dog, shoot out your heels, and then set your knees down. And really briefly, let's come into your child's pose, sliding your hips back. So whatever variation that you like with your child's pose, you can have your arms right next to you, knees towards each other, knees apart. And bring your palms together, bend your elbows, and let your fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. And this will get a little bit more into the triceps. And when you're ready, as you slowly lift up, let's come right back onto your backs here. So hug your knees to your chest. Good, so just circle your knees here. And then once you're here, set your feet down to the floor. So feet are going to be hip width and parallel. Coming into a bridge flow here first. So on this next inhale, lift your hips, reach your arms all the way up and over. And as you exhale, release your arms and your hips down simultaneously and continue to lift up and down. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, feel free to stay in bridge. Lift your hips, walk your shoulder blades in. You can bend your arms to 90 degrees, you can clasp your hands, but wherever you are, really have this sense of groundedness right through the feet, right into the tops of your shoulders here and your triceps. I don't know if anyone else's pets often think bridge pose is an invitation to just stand on your chest, but makes my bridge pose a lot more interesting. And then as you exhale, slowly release right back down. And then when you're ready, instead of pulling your knees immediately to your chest, just move your hips a little bit more side to side. And as you come back center, one more little low back opener here. So there's about a little distance between your low back and the mat. So a little curvature. So as you exhale, press your low back down onto the floor. So there's a very, very slight tuck of the hips. And then bring your low back into a neutral position. Exhale, press your low back down onto the floor. And then bring your low back into a neutral position. So it's a very, very small movement. So if your hips are moving a lot, that might mean it might be a little too strong. So just kind of ease into it. And then slowly bring your low back into a neutral position. And then now come into a twist here. So right leg, you can fold your right leg all the way over your left or come into the figure four that you did before. Bring your knees over towards the left and then pause right there. So whatever variation that feels the best to you in your legs. And then whenever you're ready, feel free to switch your legs and bring it over towards the other direction. Great. And then slowly as you come right back center, now come into your happy baby, knees to your chest. Take the instep or the outside of your feet and draw your knees apart and just move a little bit side to side. Keeping your thigh bones heavy, tailbone heavy. And when you're ready, start to extend into your Shavasana. So you can have your legs extended. You can have legs up the wall if you have that space. Palms up. Close the eyes and just take a deep inhale. Deep exhale out.
Your eyes closed. Start to wiggle toes and fingers. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale out. And reach your arms all the way up overhead. And then start to bring your knees to your chest and move a little bit side to side. And slowly coming onto one side. You can roll up into a seat if you prefer. If you are against a wall, I do encourage you to have your back against the wall because it gives you just that extra support for your back. So as you sit up, inhale, roll shoulders up, and then exhale, roll back. Keep your eyes closed. And once again, just have the sense of this expansive inhale. And then exhale, a little bit of a contraction. Maybe you can just release the tension around the shoulders and neck. This next inhale, reach your arms out and up. Palms come together and then just trace the midline. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale. Love and gratitude. Namaste. Thank you so much.